everyone. So for this card I'm using the Paper Smooches Falling For You and the matching little Wise dies, and I die cut some heavyweight white cardstock with the little Wise die, and then I'm inking up the matching stamp with my Memento Tuxedo Black ink. And before anyone asks, I'm using the Tuxedo Black because I filmed this before I got my MFT hybrid inks that I've been raving about. So that's why I have this one stamped in the Tuxedo Black, and you can see it's not very black, but part of that might be because I need to re-ink my Tuxedo Black ink. So anyway, I show in a bit though how I fix that. So once I've got him stamped, I wanted to color him in with some Copic markers, and I wanted to do a blue and a green sort of color scheme. So I just laid down a little bit of YG11 just as a base, didn't have to be perfect. And then I'm just going in with different shades of blue and green and making little dots. So some smaller, some larger. I just kind of wiggle it in a circular motion while I'm holding the marker straight up and down, just to create different sizes of circles. So really simple, no effort at all required to do this. So I did YG23, and then I went in with my B24 and added some dots, and then I took B28, which is a much darker blue, and added a bunch of dots. And then I went back with that YG11 and created some kind of lighter green dots, and then some B01, just kind of back and forth until I was happy with it. So once I was, I colored in his little horns with the B24 and then added a bit of the B28 and then quickly blended that with the B24 again. So just super, super, super simple. And then I wanted to finally finish the outline. Like I said, I didn't like how it looked. So I just grabbed my little Copic multi-liner. I think this is the 0.03. I wish I'd had a wider one, but this is the only one I've got. So I just kind of went around, and even though it's not wide enough, it did the trick. You can see it just really helps the image to stand out a little bit more. So I just quickly went over the lines. Nothing special. I didn't go over the line completely because the line is thicker than the pen I'm using, but it just worked enough to kind of fill in some of the little bits and gaps from not having enough ink on the stamp. That's kind of what I assume. So I've always been kind of happy with the Tuxedo Black. I do prefer the new MFT hybrid black. I think it's fabulous, but this stuff works great too. It's just, I'm pretty sure I just need to rank it. So once I was done filling that in, because it was a Copic multi-liner, you can still keep coloring over it, and I wanted to add a little bit of shading just to kind of finish them off and give them a bit of depth. So I tried W1, but it was too light, so I grabbed my W3 and added that little bit of shading, and it just finished them off. So for the sentiment, the monster is from that same Falling For You set, but I wanted it to say birthday wishes underneath. But I didn't have any stamp that did that looked right. So I grabbed a stamp from the birthday sampler set and cut it apart. It was belated birthday wishes. And yeah, I still have a hard time cutting apart my stamps, but if it means you're actually going to use them, why not? And with these ones, if you don't trim anything extra, you can like nudge them back together and it'll work just the way it was intended. So I trimmed them apart, lined them up on my craft mat, and then picked it up with my little Fisker stamp press there so I can stamp it all at once. And then I just got my white card base and I laid down that little main image so that I could see where I was going to put him on the card. And then I inked up the sentiment with my Hero Arts black ink. And then once I've got that all inked up, I'm going to stamp that under where the image is going to go. So really clean and simple, crisp white card. I just wanted the little monster to be kind of the focus. Plus I was making this, my mom needed some birthday cards for little boys for birthday parties my little brother's been invited to. So I was able to finally pull out some of my boy theme things and make some boy cards, which get requested a lot. So this just worked perfect. So I added some dimensionals to the little monster and popped him up. So he just popped up on some dimension. And then to finish off the inside of the card, I just grabbed that same little monster stamp and inked him up with Memento's Pear Tart and Danube Blue. Is it Danube? Is that how you say it? I don't know. Anyway, inked them up with those and stamped them and then re-stamped them without re-inking. So I've got a few shades of the same colors just along the bottom, so it's like a little monster parade. I thought that was really cute. So once I was done that, just to completely finish off the card, I just grabbed some glossy accents and added that to his little horns and his eyes, and that's all there was to it. So this was technically the end of this video, but the next morning when I was making another card, which I will show at a different time, I made a matching envelope for that card, and I thought, why not do the same for this? So I just grabbed the envelope I was going to include with this and did the exact same thing that I did on the inside of the card, and that was to just ink up the stamps in the same two Memento inks and stamp them all along the bottom of the card, so it just kind of goes together, so it's a fun little matching set. It's not something I do too often, but then when I do it, I love how it just completes everything and makes it super cute, and this literally took like a minute. So I need to do that more often. But yeah, just inked up the little monsters, stamped them a few times, and that's all there was to it. So as always, there will be a link below the video to my blog post with a link to all the supplies used. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see y'all next time.